5.2 day 2 is all about ZPP. Now, ZPP stands for the zero product property. The zero product property. Now, the zero product property simply says this. If you have A times B, if A times B is equal to 0, then what must be true? Well, think about it. A times what will give you 0? 0, right? So here's what it's saying. It's saying that either A is equal to 0 or B is equal to 0. If two numbers are being multiplied, one and they're equal to 0, one of them's got to be 0. So let's do our first example here. Our first example is going to be x squared, minus 3x equals 40. X squared minus 3x is equal to 40. All right, so remember, the name of today's lesson is the zero product property. There ain't no such thing as the 40 product property or any other number product property except for 0. So the first thing you got to do is get this so that it equals 0. Make it equal to 0. All right, so now you figure out what multiplies to negative 40 but adds up to negative 3. Now, I like to list out everything that multiplies to negative 40. Well, 40 at least. 1 and 40, 2 and 20, 3 doesn't go in, 4 does, 4 and 10, 5 does, 5 and 8, 6 doesn't go in, a 40, 7, nope, 8 does, but I already got it. So these are everything that multiplies to 40. Now, because this multiplies to negative, one of these has got to be negative. Either the little ones are going to be negative or the big ones are going to be negative. Now, because it adds up to negative 3, that means negative 1. That means the big ones are going to be negatives. So which one of these adds up to negative 3? 5 and negative 8, right? So this factors 2, x plus 5, and x minus 8. So there's our factored form, but we're supposed to solve this. Because it's an equation, we're going to solve this. So think of this is A times this is B equals 0. That means that A is equal to 0 or B is equal to 0. In other words, x plus 5 is equal to 0 or x minus 8 is equal to 0. So that means that x is negative 5 or x equals 8. Those are our two solutions here. X is negative 5 or x is equal to 8. Let's do another one. Last one. 2x squared minus 2x minus 12 equals 0. All right, so it's equal to 0, so we can do the zero product property after we factor this. However, whenever you factor, the first thing you always look for is a GCF. Does this have a GCF? Sure, it's got 2, right? So a 2 comes out, you're left with x squared minus x minus 6 equals 0. Now, what multiplies to negative 6 but adds up to negative 1? This one's kind of an easier one. Hopefully you got x minus 3 and x plus 2. That's our factored form. Now, this here says 2 times, think of this as A, think of this as B. 2 times A times B. Now, this 2 has nothing to do with the answer. All right? We're only looking at our x's. So we can ignore this 2 for right now. Even though we factored it out, it has nothing to do with what's going to come out of here. So this is x minus 3 is equal to 0. We have x plus 2 is equal to 0. So x is 3 or x is negative 2. This 2, again, this 2 means nothing. Think of it like this. We talked about what A times B is equal to 0. There's just a 2 that's hanging outside. Still, either A is 0 or B is 0. So if you factor out a 2, you can just ignore it. Smith out!